Hello, good afternoon, and however you're watching this, thanks for tuning in. And this is actually a new project I'm doing called a Survivor 41 review, where I basically go through some moments in the episode that are basically highlights. And then a little word of thought: this one's probably gonna be lo- this one's probably going to be longer, um, just because the episode was 2 hours, but the hour-long ones won't have as much content to talk about. So I'll get started. So to start out, Jeff had a great intro, reminding of new changes, 26 days instead of 39. And also twists like a shot in the dark. He actually walked into camps and during the intro and put like hidden idols at all the camps basically. I think they just showed one, but he reminded that there'll be idols hidden at the other two camps. So, and then a few people spoke about playing in the pandemic era, and a guy named Vachi who spoke about battling with the COVID pandemic, being that he's a doctor, which I think you have to appreciate what the doctors do in situations like this, but all situations with COVID, with any other illnesses that put people in the hospital. And then Jeff mentioned, "Come on in, guys," and his need to change. I've heard some haters of that online of I've heard some haters of that online, like Russell, who played in Samoa, Heroes versus Villains, and Redemption Island, and he's actually quite complaining about the new changes, but I don't have personally. I don't know what y'all think, but I don't have a problem with them. And then the tribe colors and tribe names: Luvu wears blue, Yua wears green, and Yase wears yellow. And here's the reward challenge, basically. In the that was held after the marooning. It was to paddle to a flint dangling above the water, and of course using the boat to paddle to it. Luvu was struggling to paddle. Ua had a lead. Yase was still on the barge, which is the ship they got marooned on. And then in the end, Yua ended up winning. Shan got to the Flynn and claimed it for her tribe. And then at the Yua camp, they arrived at the camp in their canoe from the challenge. And Sarah spoke about her grandma passing away and how she is in Fiji for her camp. And camp was also, other than that, camp was also being built. Evie and JD seemed to be ones to root for. JD made fire for Ua, and I call what JD did, making fire, a hero move, and he actually spoke about how he practiced in the time it was off air for the show. And then on a camp challenge, one of which was a water dumping in 2 barrels, Sweat and Savvy was physical. Luvu chose Sweat. The underlying meaning of the season is drop the 4, keep the 1, which means it's the whole brand new era phase of the game. Jeannie opens up about her family, accepting her lifestyle, and she also mentioned that her family is traditional, but nonetheless they accepted her for it. So that's a good thing. Always a good thing to have your support of your parents and your communities and whatnot. Ricard opened up about his husband and child. Reminds me of Elton John with his husband and 2 sons. I don't agree with the lifestyle, but Ricard, Jeannie, and Evie are lovely people. As long as they are happy, I'm going to be non-judgmental to their lives. Abraham and Evie had a discussion, and this is at Yassi's camp. Abraham and Evie had a discussion while making camp about their poor challenge performance as a tribe. JD spoke about the 26-day game. Ricard speaks of not trusting JD. Other tribe members targeted JD. And Shan is a pastor who describes being like a mafia pastor at the beginning of the episode. But here's how she put it. She put it like she's one to pray for you and then send you out the door. Yassi and Luvu completed their challenge, the sweat challenge. Episode 1 dilemma was get in a boat and go to a separate island, a big risk dilemma. Xander went for Yassi, JD went for Ua, Danny went for Luvu. And by the way, if you don't know who Danny is, he's a former football player who played for LSU, and I kind of looked at when he was talking at the beginning of the episode, and I was like, this guy looks like D'Angelo from Amazing Race last year. Danny went for Luvu. The challenge is to go on a mountain, walk, and get to know each other. Something originating from Millennials versus Gen X with the summit part. JD spoke about it being on Survivor and how it changed his life, going through struggling, fitting into others' molds. And here's the dilemma they were faced with. Risk their vote or protecting your vote. And the extra vote advantage was the reward for risking the vote. Danny chose to protect his vote. Xander risked his vote, and JD's choice wasn't clearly made, but he ended up picking the riskier vote. And now it was at that time is time for the immunity challenge. Ricard expressed about the phrase, "Come on in, guys." Jeff's line from challenges. Jeff agreed with Jeff. I put Jeff agreed with Jeff, but I should have put Ricard. Jeff agreed with Ricard, and Jeff was open to the change. So basically, they changed it to "Come on in." And the twist that tribal council he talked about was shot in the dark, guaranteed safety, or lose your vote. And then the challenge itself was an obstacle course challenge involving sandbags, net bridges, and a puzzle in the end. And the twist with this challenge was, I'm not sure how many challenges are going to have one tribe winning immunity, but given the pace of the game, there's probably going to be a lot of that. 2 people going home episodes. 2 people go home, only one tribe gets immunity. Luvu had 1 bag off the platform, and here's the game with the part where the game within a game for future junior Survivor players came into play. The audience was shown a picture of rebus puzzle on the final platform that was on the tower part. One of the pillars for the tower. And it ended up coming down. It ended up with Luvu being in first and having a comeback win. Ua and Yasi lose their flint and go to tribal council, and basically they'll have a chance to get it back at the next immunity challenge. And for Yasi's deliberation before tribal, Liana wanted to get rid of Abraham. Abraham wants Tiffany gone. Evie and Vachi discussed between Tiffany and Abraham. Tiffany looked for the idol. And here in the Ua deliberation, Sarah vowed to fight to stay in the game. It's between JD, Shan, and Sarah. Ricard wanted JD. Sarah wants to take the shot in the dark. So this is Jeff Probst interacted with the viewing audience for a narration. First tribal, let's go. And Yasi Abraham was voted out. Xander won his advantage for the extra vote. And Ua Sarah was voted out. And this was the point in the episode where JD found out he got his advantage. And anywho, that was basically a quick run through of the episode, which would span 2 hours. So I don't mind being 2 hours, being that it's the first episode. I mean, with the premiere episode, you expect it to be, nowadays expect it to be, whether it's 2 episodes or 1, you expect at least one or two 2-hour episodes before the finale comes out. And with that, I'll see y'all on Monday for the devotion video.